I was really looking forward to this camera a lot, but unfortunately it seems like all those jokes about what that S stands for seem to be true. So this is the second iteration of Runcam's box camera. The first one was knocked down by GoPro because it was a cube. I don't know how Polaroid patented a cube and takes royalties from GoPro for it. So Runcam received a cease and desist letter, so they stopped making the first cube Runcam 3 camera. This is the second version, but unfortunately I think it's actually worse than the first version. So first of all, let's compare it side by side against the GoPro. It is roughly 2 millimeters wider and 1 millimeter taller. So it doesn't exactly fit into any of your GoPro cases that you might already have on your quads. You can squeeze it in there, and that is what I did, but it's just not a very nice fit. So I don't know if Runcam actually has people that use this stuff, because I don't know why they would put a door on this thing, and the door, it flew off in the first flight, so it's pretty much worthless. And on top of that, I think mine is broken because no matter what I do, the battery constantly drains. I do appreciate the fact that you can change the battery, but I have to keep it plugged into the charger and only plug the battery in when I want to use it, or else it'll just go dead. I'm pretty sure that's just the problem with my camera. Now, let's just jump to the video quality. So the video quality of this camera is very much the same as the split cameras. It looks the same to me. It has that same, I don't know why all of these split cameras have this kind of washed out, overly HDR look that is over sharpened, and it doesn't have enough pixels for it to be really nice and crisp because it's only 1080p. And to add insult to injury, while the field of view is very wide, it's not super view, and it has a very awkward distortion on it, which just makes it look funny. So then I actually tried all the settings on the camera. There isn't a sharpening, unsharpening, or whatever setting on this camera, so I couldn't reduce the sharpening, but I tried all the other settings. You have to leave WDR on, the dynamic range on, or else it's just terrible. There's really no other settings. There's a saturation setting, that's about it. So I then put an ND, I just taped an ND filter over the top of it because nothing really fit on this in my case. And it did get quite a bit better. The choppiness turned into motion blur like it does in the GoPro as well. It doesn't quite handle the motion blur as well as the GoPro, but I'm very pleased to say that the ND filter does help even with this camera. Unfortunately, it doesn't help as much as I would want it to. And the reason why I'm really kind of down on this camera is that it's a $100 camera, and while I understand that not everybody in the world has access to a GoPro or buying a GoPro, the Session 5 is now $180 on eBay, and that price kind of fluctuates now that it's discontinued, and it's more than twice as good video quality. Now, keep in mind that the quad that I'm flying this on is not as good as the GoPro quad that I'm flying the GoPro on, but still you can tell that the GoPro image quality is just far superior to what the Runcam can give you, and it's only $80 more. I know it's double the price, and I know that's actually a significant amount of money. It's almost as much as a whole quad if you buy a super cheap one, but the video quality you get is just so much more pleasing. I would recommend it. That being said, if somebody is looking for a camera like this, like a cheaper GoPro alternative camera, this isn't a bad option, except that it's more expensive than the split product, and to me it looks like it's exactly the same as the split product. I would recommend you just take a split and put it in a case. It'll probably end up being lighter, because this is only 2 grams less than the GoPro, which is 75 grams, and it'll be cheaper because it's $60 product and this is a $100 product. Gosh, I don't know, up to you. I would give this camera a very careful neutral rating. I wouldn't sit around out and go buy it. I really hope that things improve in the future, because there is a really significant market for just a decent small little camera. I wish that the Cyclops, the Hobbywing Cyclops cameras had similar quality as this camera and the split cameras and the turtle cameras. That would be amazing, because we can put those on tiny whoops. And so I'm going to go over the quads real quick that I was using. This is the quad that I was using for the Runcam camera, and this is my 2205 6S quad, and it flies pretty well. It flies awful compared to the new quad. So I wanted to point out one other thing. This quad was running on 4S with the Runcam camera, and this quad is running on 6S with the GoPro. Now I'm going to show you what this quad looks like on 4S. And when you're watching this, you immediately realize how deficient the throttle is because it's heavier. So this quad is about 55 grams heavier than the other 2205 quad that I was flying. And when I put 4S on it, I would have expected it to be really excellent, as my other 6S quads on 4S are, just not as powerful. But this particular quad weighs about 50 grams more than those other quads. So I just want to point this out to you, that if you are going to try to run 4S on a 6S quad, you do have to keep your weight relatively low to have any kind of throttle performance, because you are struggling to keep this thing off the ground because it doesn't have the 6S that it wants to function. But it makes it way easier to do proximity. You can even see that I'm able to weave through trees much easier, even though the quad is underpowered, because it's underpowered. One other thing I'm going to throw in there, these are my settings on the 6S quad. These are the same settings I was using on 4S and 6S. You can see that they're pretty much stock. I've added just a little more P, and that's all it took to really tune this thing to darn close to perfection. Anyways, that's it for now. My next review is actually going to be a review on my car, and I think that'll do it for this week. Maybe I'll get around to making a video tomorrow. Take care. Don't forget to floss. Bye.